Dear friends, as all of us know by now, the new education policy has 8 key principles. Actually, 8 key principles are there, and these key principles are in tune with the principles of the Catholic education or Jesuit education. And the key principles are these. Number one, the first key principle is talks about that the education in India must respect for diversity and local context, and this has to be reflected in all curriculum, pedagogy and policy. Jesuit education will say think globally and act locally. We need to accept the context where we are all living in, and based on that context we should not be so limited, but based on this context, this experience, this reflection, and our actions must be leading to a global citizenship idea. And therefore this diversity for local, in fact, when we look at India, the hallmark of India is that diversity of people, diversity of cultures, diversity of religion, diversity of ethnicity, diversity of language, for example, and every aspect of human life in India is diverse. Diversity is the hallmark, and therefore the first principle is that to accept this, and that has to be always manifested in our educational curriculum, pedagogy and the policy. And number two, it talks about equity and inclusion. That has to become the cornerstone of all educational decisions. In fact, Christian education always talks about equity and also inclusion. We must consider everyone, irrespective of one's religion and caste and culture and ethnicity, etc. We consider that everyone is a child of God. That's why we respect every individual. We respect human beings, whichever caste, whichever religion, whichever cultures, whichever nationality, whichever ethnic groups, which language we speak. We respect everybody as God's children. And the third point is the education policy talks about is community participation. We need to accept for example, a school is a miniature society. The improvement and the planning of the school must also reflect the local society, local community, and community participation is important. And the fourth point is use of technology in teaching and learning, removing language barriers and so on. Everywhere this policy, the principle talks about technology is a boon for all of us. In the modern age, technology is a great blessing. But the problem today we face is there is a huge dichotomy, a huge digital divide in the country. Majority of the people and areas are not getting proper internet connections or technological experiences there. And I think that has to be leveled with the cooperation of the government and private and public-private partnership we call today. We can all work together to alleviate these problems of the rural belt, the marginalized people. Fifth key principles of the education policy is that we need to have a conceptual understanding based education, not exam based rote learning. And I think it is a very, very progressive decision. The sixth point talks about unique capabilities must be accepted. We need to see each individual is unique. Each one is God's child with special giftedness. We cannot have an education which one size fit for all. Each one is different and each one is unique, and therefore we must accept that uniqueness, and a child-centered education has to come as the multiple intelligence talk about. And therefore the unique capability based education, recognizing and tapping them in each student, has to be stressed in the policy. The seventh principle, it talks about critical thinking and creativity has to be encouraged, and this will boost logical decision making and innovation. Critical thinking is the basis of Jesuit education. For example, last 500 years we have been telling that our education must be making people to think critically, to to think about the society. And even Pedro Arupe, almost 50 years ago, he said our education must be making men and women for others, not the selfish people. We need to people who are make people who are committed to the society. Therefore, critical thinking is a must, and that has come into this education policy. And finally, it talks about continuous review, build of sustained research and regular assessment by educational experts, etc. Research and new ways of thinking is so important for Indian education. So according to the policy, so that is the 8th key principle. Now, in the light of these 8 key principles, let's look at the core values of Jesuit education. In our world, there has been a trend, today. For example, some say it's a craze. That is, we denigrate anything having to do with religion. In fact, today's youth are living in between the two major forces. One force is too much of secularism. There is no God, as just now I said. Anything having to do with religion is denigrated. At the same time, there is another force which is the pulling people to the other side, which is too much of fanaticism, fundamentalism, and so on, which is also extremely dangerous for us. So this trend, for both these trends are very, very foolish. There is no reason in it, and therefore Jesuit education, for example, it's a religious value system, brings out the very best in each individual. Cura personalis, care of the individual, the totality of the individual is looked at in our educational system. The Jesuit education is an integral part of teaching Jesuit core values, and these values are what drive and guide individuals, help us in our everyday lives, and teach us to reflect on critical thought and responsible action. It was a thoughtful, conscious choice, and of course, it was ultimately the right one for the past several years. For example, Ratio Studiorum, the first book on education, the method of education, which talks about, it's a blessing for us. For example, it talks about a few values. I'll tell you the core values of Jesuits. Someone that makes even Jesuits successful in life, in the church. Last 500 years we see these values have been upheld by the Jesuits. Now, the first one they talk about is Magis. Magis is striving for excellence. So you look at the new education policy, the principles, if you look at all 8 principles, it is taking us towards that excellence. And that's what the government says. That's what the policy makers say. Actually, in principles, they want to make India is a knowledge superpower, etc. That what does that mean? It means that we are to strive for excellence. Do not be satisfied with the minimum. Do not be satisfied with what we are doing. We need to have much more, and we can do more. That is called Magis. It's a very special word for Jesuit and Jesuit principles. Number one is Magis, which is we can do more and better. Never be satisfied. Never be complacent. There is a room for improvement, we say. And second one is men and women for and with others. I told you Pedro Arupe 47 years ago, in a meeting with alumni, first time coined this, that we need to create, our education must create men and women for others. That is why JAI, for example, Jesuit Alumni Association, or the WUJA, World Union of Jesuit Alumni Association, etc., are standing with this principle. We are here for the entire humanity, not for ourselves. We don't want in our schools and institutions to make intellectual monsters who are so selfish. No, we need to create people who can do something for the society and change agents for the society. And politically, religiously, culturally, any sector, people who work, they should have this principle in mind: men and women for others. Sharing their gifts, their pursuing justice and concern for the poor must be the hallmark of Jesuit education. And that is exactly the policy, the principle talks about, equity and inclusion and so on. And one of the key principles which I mentioned already, that is cura personalis, care of the total person, individual person, respecting each person as a child of God. We are intellectual, we have an affective level of understanding, we also have skill, so the head, heart and hand are there, and also we need to have intellectual, social, political, moral, spiritual, psychological, physical education. All this aspect has to be looked at. That is called cura personalis in Jesuit education. And another important aspect we are talking is unity of heart, mind and soul. Developing the whole person is important. We cannot simply create people who only think. And in fact, the new education policy, the NEP 2020, if you look at this multidisciplinary education and so on, actually coming out with this principles of the Jesuits. It talks about the unity of heart, mind and soul, developing the whole person, and actually this with the multidisciplinary subject, when we create engineers or doctors, only that subject, no. The students can also enter into other subjects. Take, for example, if you are studying maths, you can also study history, you can study arts, music, etc. So that is a very, very important point. I think these principles was underlying in the Jesuit education for the last 500 years. We also have a very, very important point, that is ad majorem Dei gloriam. Ad majorem Dei gloria means for the greater glory of God. That is for us. We believe that whatever we do, life is very, very short in this earth. We are all pilgrims on this earth. So we need to do good works for God and for God's people and move out. So therefore, never be satisfied with what we are doing, the minimum, the mediocre. Do the best for the society, to the fellow beings, to our neighbor, to the people, and to the nation, and to the whole world, and move. That's our duty. So, ad majorem Dei gloriam, AMDG, that's a motto of the Jesuits. And another important thing is we believe in our education, which also slightly we see in and through this educational policy, which talks about, Jesuit talks about forming and educating agents of change. Teaching behaviors that reflect critical thought and responsible action on moral and ethical issues. We need to take a stand with conviction. And that comes only when we are taking a stand on these ethical issues. That comes only when we are convinced of. That is why the critical thinking which we are talking about. These core values, including the critical thinking is inherent in Jesuit education from the beginning. From the Actio Studiorum and also the first school and the colleges and so on. When we opened, we made sure that children must think critically. That is why in our education we give humanitarian subjects much importance. So at least I'm happy that in this new education policy, the principles and the policy also talks about the all-round development, the holistic development, etc., etc. That such languages have come into this policy today. Now look at the Jesuit policies. As I said, those core values are used to drive and guide individuals for centuries. It means to broaden your understanding of cultural and global differences and increase civic engagement. It means taking care of the entire person and caring for individual needs. It also means recognizing that we as leaders will always need to do more. We can. Psychology says we are only utilizing only 20% of our energy and quality. And we need to use more of our capabilities, our giftedness, our talents, our graces in the religious terms God has invested in us must be utilized for the welfare of other beings. Jesuit education values mean that one should never force Jesuit values on individuals nor ostracize those who do not prefer to follow these values. That's one of the things I told you. The critical thinking makes people understand, yes, this is what the best for me, this is what we understand, but you have your own freedom to choose. This is what makes Jesuit education a worthy goal of any person who wants to improve themselves and importantly to help others. So in that light, when I look at the NEP, there are several principles of this education policy which are acceptable, and I see a lot of underlying factors of our principles, our policies come into this education policy. In fact, we had a lengthy suggestions given to the government, but the problem with this NEP is all these wonderful principles have to be actualized. As we say, any policy is as good as its implementation. Now, who is going to do? How are they going to implement? What mechanism are they going to use? Is it a bureaucratic control is going to be, or much more freedom and flexibility is going to be given? Depending upon that, we see the progress and success of this policy. But otherwise, the 8 key principles which the policy talks about has a lot of similarity and goodness that is inherent in Catholic education, Christian education, and especially Jesuit educational values. And I'm sure that we can make the government accountable for these principles to be implemented and making our students better and education progressive and forward looking. Thank you very much, and God bless all of us.